Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 Futuristic Flyer set. It comes with instructions in the box for 3 different official build options. You can only build one of those options at a time with the pieces from one single set. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you all 3 of those options. Starting with this. This is the Futuristic Robot. I'm assuming it's a fighting robot. Definitely has some of that Oppa Gundam style going for it. But do keep in mind that this is less than a 150 piece set, so you can't expect too much out of a tertiary build. Not even a secondary build, but a tertiary one. This is the smallest of the official builds. I think that it's pretty good for what it's going for, what it's doing. Definitely gives you the basis for some inspiration to do some custom builds, and at the very least, you're looking at some nice pieces in especially the dark red, but also with some of the Mixel style ball joints, including the ones down at the hips, which are kind of make your own ball joints with the little bar piece with the ball end that's inserted into some studs on the side bricks to create those pieces. This has pretty good articulation for its size. You got the ankle here, and then you got the main leg there, and then the arms are also on ball joints. No elbows or knees, but I think that's reasonable enough. I think this actually looks decent that way. Almost looks like it has an elbow as part of the shape, and I didn't expect this. The head can be turned side to side, only slightly though. Only slightly. There's not a whole lot of room there. You can change the angles of these kind of shoulder stabilizers, maybe. Maybe it looks a little bit better out. Maybe it looks a little bit better partially in. I don't know. But yeah, it's intended to be something that would fly. So put the hands up like that and fly it around. Cool. That's pretty much it. You got the rocket or jetpack on the back. You see the exhaust coming out. And yeah, there's really not that much else to see or talk about with this one. So let's move on to the next larger build. Oh wait, first the parts that are left over. It's quite a percentage of the total volume of pieces included in the set. So it gives you just an idea of how little we're working with that small model. Next up, this is a spaceship. I'm going to call it a starfighter. I like the lines on this one. I like how they kept the white going all the way out to the tip, and I just like the shaping overall. This is a fun looking build to me, and it was enjoyable enough to put together. I think that everything about this is pretty solid and pretty well laid out, pretty good uses of the parts in the official set. It even has gear. Look at that. Got landing gear down there, so that makes sense. See, got a little bit of room for a little bit of takeoff angle there. I especially liked this curved piece. I think it was the last piece that you add on, and it just really helps to smooth things out down the middle. Well chosen. Obviously super swishable. You know, grab it wherever you want. I don't know what this is supposed to represent. Maybe it's like a faster than light drive or hyperspeed drive. I don't know. But yeah, it can't be part of a weapon system. It has to be propulsion related. At least I think so. But you can come up with your own idea for that. Cockpit size feels pretty appropriate. The thickness of the thing, oops, there we go, feels pretty appropriate as well. It's not too flat of a build. It's not just a couple of plates tall. It's smoothed out pretty nicely. I like these couple angles here. Yeah, and again, you can change the angles of the vertical stabs if you want. Bring them out, bring them in closer like that. There's a little bit of a wing kind of feel here, especially with the colors, but I don't think that's what they were going for exactly. I like it. Also, what is it? Maybe a little bit of Galaga in there, a little bit of Raiden, maybe. I don't know, some old arcade space fighters. Pretty cool. Leftover parts this time, not nearly as many, and it's mostly small stuff. You got this one. Maybe they could have found a place to put this, but maybe it would have been too contrasty with the black being visible. I like the choice that they went with of not putting in any main color other than the red, the white, and the grays. And finally, here is the main build, the Futuristic Fighter plane, actual aircraft, not spacecraft. Now looking at this, it's very easy to go in the direction of Macross for the inspiration. You know, you can definitely see some YF-19 Excalibur in it easily. But I personally am going to skip that abstraction and go straight to what I consider to be a true source. The Su-47 Birkut, which in my opinion is one of the coolest looking aircraft ever actually produced. Certainly fighter aircraft, just a really interesting thing that is very memorable. But, you know, this is not trying to be a direct replica of anything. It's supposed to be made up. It certainly takes inspiration from some real life stuff and previous imagined things. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. I especially like how they attached the wings. Let me just pull these off so you can see that it's only attached, each wing is only attached with a single ball joint, but it's perfectly set in there. It has exactly the right amount of space. So when I click this in, it pops into space, and look at that. There's just a tiny bit of up and down, a little bit of play there, and front to back, almost nothing. It's so perfectly located. That was very satisfying when I put that in there, and it just fit perfectly. Really, really nice. So this is cool. It's different. Again, I like what they did with the white lines going out to the tips of these much longer wings here. What I like least about this is definitely the whole engine section back here. Just looks the least believable to me, like they were going for a little rocket, you know, combined, I don't know what you call it, like a compound rocket nozzle with multiple motors in there. But I can get over that, and certainly you can kind of do a little bit of modification to easily change that up. You can change the angles of these canards, put them up, put them down. Nah, we don't want to put them down. Leave them flat or put them up. And then here at the back, these control surfaces I think look best angled down just a little bit. Just my opinion. Maybe I can bring these front ones up right about there. That just feels right to me. Do whatever you want, you know? But I like this. And again, it has the gear, right? Yeah, pretty proper. It's nice for a small, such a simple build, so few pieces. I like it. And again, a really good parts pack. And the build techniques here are varied, quite varied. You know, with the attachment of the wing, the studs on the side construction here, some compound technique and system kind of overlap, you know, to combine a handful of things, not too many. That's good. Now, you want to see a real surprise? I have one of these screens to show you. All these pieces were left over. Now, some of these, the smaller ones, the smallest ones, were actual spares. So, like those 5 pieces right there are actual spares. Maybe one of these is a spare. I don't think so, though. But leftovers, actual leftovers that weren't used in the main model. That's so rare. I feel like I have seen this before in a Creator 3-in-1, but I certainly haven't seen it in recent years. I haven't built all of them, but to have that many proper pieces left over is shocking to me. I was certain I had missed several pages of the instructions, but nope, I built the whole thing. So yeah, it's just something a little bit different. I don't mind it. It's just unexpected. Looking at value for approximately 150 pieces, in an ideal world, you'd like to pay about $15 US for this. And I think the box is a little bit on the large side for a $15 set. So I wouldn't have been surprised if they asked for a little bit more, but I would have been a little bit disappointed once I actually built these things and saw that the true mass of parts isn't that great. Fortunately, they actually priced this at $15 US, which is great. So I just can't complain. At the very least, this is a great parts pack for doing things that fly, for doing things related to the original builds that they suggest here. And I think probably if you get a couple of this same set, you'll probably get more value for your $30 than you would from most $30 Lego sets. You know, there's so much that you can do realistically. Overall, I have to go with the main build again as my favorite, but oh, this is in such a close second. Such a close second, because it's a really good build in and of itself, and it does use quite a lot of the pieces. The mech build, I think, is a fine reuse, or robot build is a fine reuse of the pieces included here, but it's just not that impressive to me, with so few joints. And I don't know, I feel like that actually needs some transformability. Flip the wings around as part of the joints to make it look like it's transforming partway for flight or something like that. At any rate, as usual, I recorded the build and I've uploaded both versions. So there's the pure build version, which has just the sounds of putting the pieces together, and it's done in completely real time. So if you want to just throw that on in the background and relax to it, there are definitely some folks that can enjoy that. And then I did a more traditional speed build, which does have some music, and obviously being a speed build, it is sped up. I'll link to both of those on screen at the end of the video and also in the pinned comment. But first, I'm briefly going to share a little bit of footage from Ace Combat 7 on the Xbox One, which I was inspired to pick up and play a little bit real quick with the SU-47 Beer Coot because the set inspired me. Talk to you later.